here it is, kids. I finally did this, and before I even get into any details on this, I do owe a little bit of gratitude to a number of people in the community with whom this would not have been possible. First, I'd like to thank Phil Mueller, the lead developer of Manjaro GNU Linux. I'd also like to thank some other people who have worked with Manjaro, specifically Edge226 of CuttingEdgeLinux.com, who gave me some advice. I'd also like to thank Bob, or is that Rob? Yeah, I think it's Rob, who maintains the Compiz packages on Manjaro's servers and that sort of thing. He sent me a PM about a week and a half ago telling me, hey, Spat, you know, all the packages are now in the Manjaro repositories and that sort of thing, so now we don't have to build from the AUR. It's a great thing. Matthew Moore, you did an awesome job with your Manjaro ISO video, but I'd also like to thank the community who was able to help me out, especially on the forums, because they had some information to help me get sorted with installing packages into my build from the AUR. And with all of that out of the way, I present Manjaro, the Cup of Linux edition, and here it is. We're looking at the 32-bit edition, and this is the live CD. And by default, it opens up into Compiz. Now, you're going to notice that the graphics are a little bit choppy in the playback and that sort of thing, and that is to be expected in VirtualBox. As a matter of fact, we know that they weren't able to run Compiz and that sort of thing for quite some time. But I just want to give you a quick rundown of what you are getting with this. This is Manjaro GNU Linux. I just decided to remove some packages to make it a little bit smaller in file size, and then, of course, I added my own custom packages to this to, you know, to make it a little bit better, a nice little distribution that you can build on top of. On the upper right corner of the screen, you're going to see that you have a logout option here. You also have a clock with a calendar. A battery indicator is here. You have quick access to the update manager. The system, of course, is up to date. It was just built a half hour ago. All right, you have volume control, you have internet connectivity, and this is the Compiz Fusion icon. For those of you who do not want to run Compiz, you can right-click on this icon here, and you can select Window Manager, and you can choose between Compiz or XFWM4, which does not have all the fancy eye candy and special effects. If you want to change all of the settings that Compiz has, you can adjust them in the Settings Manager. And then, of course, we have the Emerald Theme Manager here, which will allow you to change window borders. And that's something I want to bring up here because this distribution was designed without any window borders. For some reason, I just don't like window borders at all. And so how you move windows around is simple. You press Alt and Space, and a menu will pop up. You can move windows, and Alt Space again. You can resize windows if it has that ability, and I guess in this case it'll only let me resize this way. You can also press Alt and the left mouse button to move, but it doesn't work when I'm running this in VirtualBox. However, I did include a bordered theme so that you can put borders on the Compiz windows if you decide that you want them. Another thing that was mentioned by a lot of people at the Cup of Linux forum is that we have people who want to have accessibility options. So, with Compiz enabled, you can press the super key and roll your mouse button, and look at that. You've got a nice little zoom feature here so that you can zoom in on text that's small and very difficult to read, so very good for those of you who have eye defects. Also, this has a neat little feature where all of your open applications will appear at the center of the panel, and this is a custom panel that I created for this distribution. And when you're running in Compiz mode, it will give you a screenshot where in XFCE mode, it only gives you text. All right, let's go ahead and close this here. And you get a display manager on the panel. The reason I like to put this here is simply because I know when I'm running games in Wine, sometimes they'll change the screen resolution, and I just want to have quick access to be able to change the the screen size. So I have that here. All right. Also, by popular demand, a lot of you guys said you would prefer that I'd included VLC on this distribution rather than my personal favorite, which is SM Player. So for the community, I bit the bullet and decided to leave VLC on here rather than including SM Player. But if you do want to try it, it's very easy to install. HexChat has been installed. Just put in your nickname, whatever one you want, select connect, and you're going to see that this has also been themed to match the desktop. It's got a lot of nice colors to it and everything, and I've got everything set up a lot nicer than the default setting would normally give you. So I put a little bit of time into that. All right, and then next on our tour, let's just go ahead and quit this. We're going to have a look at Firefox. Now, what I've done some of my personal favorite tweaks with Firefox, and I figured I would include that in here for you. For those of you who indicated that you do have problems with vision, there is a zoom feature which allows you to zoom in and zoom out on the web pages by clicking these little buttons right here. You also have a text button here. No small text, and it will just increase the size of the fonts without actually zooming in on the images. So that may be helpful for you too. And of course, this is the default home page. You can change it to anything you want. I'd like to thank PinGuy for this idea, because he has this on his distro, or at least he did when I was using his 1104 edition. I created a special Google search for you guys, and this is called the Cup of Linux OS Troubleshooter. And this will pull all of Manjaro's websites, Arch's websites, and my forum, and you can ask questions. So if you're having problems with this distribution, it will pull the Arch Linux websites, that sort of thing. You'll get information from the wiki. But I did also include a link to the Manjaro wiki and the Arch wiki, mainly for the reason that if you can't find it in the Manjaro wiki, believe me, it is covered in the Arch wiki, and you will find the answer to any problems you may have, plus a link to Manjaro's website. A link to Steam has been included, although Steam has not been installed on this to save space. Many of you guys aren't gamers, so why include software you're going to have to uninstall at a later time? Also, a link to WineHQ. A lot of you ask me questions all the time. Hey, Spat, how do I get this program working? I don't know how to get it working. Visit this website. They will tell you how to get that program working. You also get a quick link to the LDC. You can catch me on G+. My YouTube link is here, and then, of course, the link to cupoflinux.com. And while we're here on cupoflinux.com, if you have any support questions about this release, you will need to just visit the forum here and scroll down to go past Manjaro only, because that's just for Manjaro, and then Matthew's got his own little board in here. I created a special board right here, the Cup of Linux edition, for release announcements. So if you have any comments about this video that you would like me to answer, you may respond to this topic here. And then, of course, you can place any feature requests for upcoming editions. And, of course, if you have any issues with this release, please post in here, and I will either answer it, or one of my staff members will research your problem and try and find a solution. And by the way, if you do think that this distribution is useful to you, please consider donating to support future development, because every time Manjaro releases a new snapshot, I plan on releasing a new Cup of Linux respin, so that you have the freshest software available to you. I replaced the default Get It with Mousepad, and then, of course, you have a quick launch to the Thunar file manager, and you'll see this theme is really beautiful to look at for a dark theme. Pressing F12 on your keyboard brings up your drop-down terminal, and yes, it has been themed for you. I included Screen Fetch with this. I wanted to also include Bashes with this, which would do some really cool squiggly lines and stuff on your terminal. However, the AUR package would build, but didn't install properly. So I couldn't really include that for you. And the thing is, I couldn't really change this over to the Penguin graphic that you display on mine, because anytime Screen Fetch updates, it's going to change that Penguin back to an M. If you want to know how to change it to the Penguin, you're going to have to visit me at cupoflinux.com and post the question on the board, and I'll pop up a tutorial one of these days when I have a little bit of time to do it, telling you exactly what you need to do to change that to the Penguin like I have on my terminal. Okay, and then of course you get the Whisker menu. Now, usually Manjaro ships Menu Libre with this, but the thing is, when I updated this before making my build, I kind of found out that Menu Libre didn't want to work anymore, so I took care of that for you guys. If you right-click on your menu icon and go into Edit Applications, a program is going to open up called Zame. And Zame is an excellent menu editor. I love this program. Pretty much, you can do a number of things with this. You can go into any applications that you may have here. You can assign which categories they appear in, or if it's an item you're not even using, but you can't uninstall because of dependencies. We've had that problem, haven't we? You can hide that from the menu and then not be bothered by seeing that application again. Okay, let's go ahead and close some of these, and then let's go ahead into let me see. I'll give you a quick rundown of the applications. I already threw a bunch of applications into the favorites area here, probably applications that are going to be most commonly used. Your ad remove software. You have your archive manager. BleachBit is Linux's answer to Crap Cleaner for Windows. This thing will clean out your system for you. The bulk renamer, great for those of you with photo collections and you want to rename all those photos from your camera. This application will let you do that with ease. You get the Firefox web browser, a quick launch to your calculator, hex chat that I've already discussed, a link to the menu editor that I talked about. You can take a screenshot. If you're having issues, we'll probably want to see a screenshot on the forum. A quick launch to your task manager, and then, of course, XFburn. All of the accessories you would ever need to get the most out of the system are included with this. And this is a default XFCE Manjaro install. I did remove some unnecessary packages out of this, though. In graphics, you just get a viewer and a document, a view noir for viewing the images, and a document viewer. I did not include the GIMP because a lot of you aren't really using the GIMP, are you? But if you are, you can install it easily using Pemic. And I have videos covering that. Okay, and then of course, you have Thunderbird for your email included with this in the internet. Multimedia, really just volume control and the burner and the VLC, which we already discussed. In Office, the dictionary, the document viewer, Orage calendar, and Orage global time, which comes standard with XFCE. Great utilities too, by the way, I might add. Okay, all your settings can be managed from right here, or you can click this button right here, and all your settings will pop up here in the Manjaro Settings Manager. Okay, let's say you don't want to run the Compiz effects here. All right, and you went into the window manager and you selected XFWM4. I had to pause the camera there because my screen capture blinks out on me when I change these for some reason. So I just went and switched this. And let's say, okay, you open up your file manager here, and you really don't want to have to press Alt and left click to move windows. You'd much rather just click and drag a title bar and that sort of thing. Say, you know, this isn't good enough for you. Well, you can go into your settings manager here, go into Window Manager, okay, and then you'll see the theme that is selected is borderless. This is the theme that I created specifically for this distribution, but there are a lot of borders that you can get for this thing. So if you want to, and we'll go with that one. That's okay, I suppose. It kind of matches the theme a little bit there. So if you decide you want to have window borders, pretty much that's how you do it. So all in all, I think this is a pretty nice contribution to the community. This is what you guys asked me for, so this is what I put together for you. I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I have enjoyed making it. And so be sure to visit me at cupoflinux.com and leave me your comments and that sort of thing. If you leave any comments here on YouTube, unfortunately, well, it's really hard for me to keep track of them. I have almost 500 videos on there. So if you really want my attention, please visit the forum, sign up. It's very easy to do. I don't send out spam emails or anything like that to anybody. It's just, the registration's required to keep all the spammers out. You know what I mean? You don't want to come in and watch somebody else's dirty laundry, do you? Didn't think so. All right. As a reminder, please consider supporting the show hosts who are bringing you the content you enjoy the most by disabling your ad blockers or shouting some coins. Peace out!